Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
And this is our episode for April 17th, 2021.
Riker Evans with a point shot. It was tipped past Max Paddock. Carter Chorney, and here comes the veteran from Sherwood Park. Cruising on in. Right circle. Hit front, they score! Cranked home by Logan Nyhoff.
Well, Chris, a bit of a disappointing week again for the Regina Pats. Overall, you know what I'm going to say this week, I'm labeling this as maybe not missed opportunities, just it was actually a bad luck sort of week, it felt like. We know with Connor Bedard going on away, the games are going to be a bit tougher, scoring's going to come a little bit less, and some challenges there. But, let's kick it off. Like, Winnipeg on the Monday, that game was fairly well played. I wasn't terribly disappointed. We certainly had our chances in that game. Ross played fairly well, of course, coming off his goaltender of the week announcement for, was it all the WHL or just the East for that?
I think that was WHL.
Okay. So he'd put up some stats last week and got recognized for that. That Winnipeg game there was lots of fairly good chances. Winnipeg's a great team. You have to capitalize on those chances. It was just one of those games, all of them you noticed Bedard not being there, but one of them where his finishing touch may have helped us out a little bit there. What would you feel about that game?
Yeah, they played good, and it was just like Winnipeg's just that much stronger, right?
They are.
If they would have played better in that PA game, maybe they would have had a chance to win, right? Like, I don't want to smooth over or gloss over the Winnipeg game, but they didn't play great against PA, and then if it was
if they could have brought that effort against the lesser team, they may have come out with a win. Yeah,
but and coach was really happy with the Winnipeg game, and you can't say much bad about the game.
No.
One guy that we didn't mention last week about players we've really liked from other teams, Connor Geekie.
Mm-hmm.
He's really stood out. He's a big kid. He's only 16.
Is he really?
Yes, he's only 16-year-old. He may be 17 now, but he's only 16-year-old hockey age.
Right.
And he's had some nice goals. He's a big body. He controls the play. Like, he's on the power play. He looks really good.
Yeah.
And then you got to talk about their top line with McLennan and Krebs, and I can't remember who the third is on that top line, but they've really been clicking. They've really looked good out there.
Yeah, and when you look at the standings of the East Hub right now, you have Brandon, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg clearly at a different level than others. It drops off dramatically when you go from those three teams off to PA, Regina, Moose Jaw, and Swift Current. It's they're definitely on another level, those three teams.
Yeah, you look at it, Saskatoon with 14 wins, Brandon 14, Winnipeg 13.
Yeah.
And then you go PA, Moose Jaw, and Regina with 7, 7, and 6. And then Swift Current with 3.
Yeah.
There's only almost a third level there, too.
Yeah, it was kind of a feisty game. I don't know what was going on. The Winnipeg looked a little... We were getting under their skin or what? They were rattled. Like, there was a fight rate off pretty early with Easton Armstrong. I just noticed, Winnipeg looked... Peyton Krebs, he got in that little brouhaha with Logan Nyhoff.
Him and Walker were John, and he popped Walker, and Walker wanted to go, and then he wouldn't go.
And then he started going. Then he started feeding the guy, like
that was later with the big scrub along the boards.
Yeah.
Somebody was getting held back by the ref, and he was punching that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, now you want to fight behind the ref?
It was.
I know, it's kind of chintzy.
It was a pretty. It didn't seem like a Winnipeg style game. Actually, they were getting a little, I don't know, frustrated or something was going on. I don't know if I was starting to wonder if, there's that gif of the guy that's like, are we the baddies? And I was wondering, are the Pats kind of like a dirty, chintzy team, and they can. I don't know. I was starting to wonder that because Winnipeg was pretty rattled. They were not playing with a lot of discipline, which for a good team like them, it was a little bit surprising actually.
Yeah. And when he was on the bench, and this was a couple weeks ago, and somebody was skating by, and he squirted the water bottle at him. And we talked about Nyhoff getting under people's skin, right? I don't know who it was, but he was skating by, and he just gave him a good squirt with the bottle.
Yeah. It's I wonder if the Pats have a bit of reputation, but that's okay.
It's not like they're dirty, but
they're not headhunting, they're not like Damian Hunt out there or anything. Anyway, on to Prince Albert. Like we said, not an awesome game, but it was some chintzy goals by Prince Albert that got us in a hole pretty quick. The one off the glass or the stanchion, I'm not sure, bounced right back out in front. The one, the guy whiffs, totally whiffs on it.
Yeah.
And it just somehow glides over to the other guy's stick, and it was just like... And then a couple screens, and it was too bad. Keeper actually looked fairly good, and then just some bad bounces and pretty unlucky kind of chintzy goals, and then we were just in too deep of a hole to dig out of, without maybe a lot of that offensive power that we're missing. So it was just another, I don't know, it was just a rough week that way, I think.
Yeah, and one thing with that game that wasn't unlucky was taking 3 penalties while on the power play.
Fair enough.
That was that's unacceptable.
Yeah, if
you can't be taking,
you make your own luck sometimes.
One maybe, but you can't be taking 3, killing 3 your power plays. You're struggling offensively, and you need those power plays. You need to capitalize on those power plays. Yeah. You can't be taking penalties. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, and congrats to Tanner Howe playing his first game as Regina Pat. Looked really pretty good out there, especially into that Saskatoon game. Really got to see him play nicely, and so that's good. He's of course filling in for the roster spot from Connor Bedard, and he's 15 as well, correct? Yeah, and played with the Mintos up until they got shut down. Did they even really get going?
No, I think he said they played half a dozen games maybe at the start of the year there. They said he didn't play much.
For him to come in and really kind of cold in a sense and get going in the middle of the season when everyone else is
jumping.
Yeah,
exactly. Everybody else is already in this at this pace, and he's coming in cold as a young kid. So he's got to jump up a level and mid-season. So that's tough, but he has looked good. Yeah, in both games he did look good.
He looked really good. Yeah, I was happy, especially in Saskatoon. So let's move on to that game. He had really should have been his first goal. It looked like he was set up beautifully. I don't know who passed it to him, but he had a lot of time, and he had a nice release, nice shot. Just hit the crossbar, unfortunately. Again, Regina had their chances, but really it became the Rhett Reinhardt show. He scored 3 goals and really kind of 4. He was the one that scored
4.
scored on his own net to get the Pats' first goal. But boy, a defenseman getting a hat trick. He looks good. When he had time and space, he had a nice shot, and he was able to pick the corners and get some nice goals. One of them was
that one
screen.
Off the face-off win.
Yeah,
that was pretty nice.
Yeah, you give a guy that kind of time, and he made us pay. And he was rewarded with a hat trick. So during the broadcast, Les Lazaruk was talking about the last time a Saskatoon Blaze player, defenseman, had a hat trick, and he wasn't even sure. I didn't take the time to look either, but it's not something that happens very often. So, just again, couple chances we missed early on, and then we just get that hole deep, and we just can't come back from that.
No, and in an unlucky goal, the one off the first one Ross made the save up high, and it popped up, and it came down, hit him in the skate, and goes in, right?
That's what I mean. It was just a weird week that way. just sucked.
Mhm. But I mean, we did get the bounce back with
Sure,
the Nyhoff
sure,
goal,
fair enough.
so that
Yeah.
kind of, you know, one thing on that one was Cadeau made a beautiful deep stretch pass to Nyhoff to spring him. That was a real nice pass.
Yeah, unfortunately, won't get to see much of him. We didn't get to see much Hay this season. It's kind of too bad.
Yeah,
Cadeau,
but you can tell, like we talked about last week, him stepping in just, you know, with some experience has really shored up the D a bit.
Yeah, you can tell when you have that experience back there. Speaking of experience on the blue line, a bit of information regarding Johnson, right?
Yeah, we finally found out he hasn't been on the weekly report, but he's got a deep bruise in his shoulder. And in the last game I was at, I seen him in the stands. He was in a sling, so it wasn't like, oh, and he hasn't been on the weekly report, so it was kind of confusing. But Struch did mention that he has a deep bruise. They're not rushing him back, but you know, it's not like a, you know, it's not like a muscle injury or a bone injury or something.
Yeah.
Just trying to work on him, getting him back in, you know, see how it goes. But he did say they're not rushing him.
Well, you'd think if there was no real plan for him to come back, they would just send him home, right? Like, why be in the bubble if you're not going to play, right?
Well, speaking of that, Jacob Brooks still with the team. He was there that game too, the last game I was at. Yeah,
Are you kidding
walking
me?
around on crutches. No, I'm not. Like it was really weird. I don't know why he'd be here, but I saw him there.
He can't be cohorting with him though, right?
No, well, I don't know. Like he's in the stands, but Johnson's in the stands too.
But now, to be fair, he had to go get surgery in a hospital.
Yeah, he left. Yeah, he must have left.
He would have had to probably self-isolate. Like, he may be coming to the games, right?
But I mean, he's not even from here. He's from Manitoba, so it's
a
little.
I know, it is odd. That's funny that you say that. I'm really quite surprised by that.
Yeah, like Kevin and I were there. We're like, is that Johnson over there? We're like, is that Brooke over there? Like, you know, like it was weird. So we're like, that's got to be Johnson, and you can see his arm was in his jacket, like his arm was just limp, right? Like his sleeve was limp, right? So we're like, oh, he must be in a sling. So I don't know if you blocked that shot, like he blocked that shot and left, and I don't know if it was from that, but he came back, you know, a game later, and then he's been out ever since, and so
interesting.
But that's the status of that we know of.
Yeah, and otherwise it's
and then he did mention too Smithson concussion after that hit against PA. Yeah. So, and the guy got 3 games for it. I mean, that's actually, you know, you think about it, 3 games out of 24. That's quite stiff. But
it is.
But you can't be giving a guy just kind of 1 game for that stuff either, right?
No. Any other injuries? We were bitten there pretty hard for a while, but are we starting to come back together?
I think it's a little better. I mean, Carrier was out there for a bit.
Right.
Oh, DeWitt is day to day.
Oh yeah,
on
DeWitt.
Tuesday.
I forgot about.
And and then Mitchell is back this week, so that's good. So DeWitt could be back next game, you'd think, or he's eligible anyways. Now that we got a healthy, you know, decor, you know, some guys will have to sit. Like we haven't seen Taylor the last couple games. I mean, out of those rookies, I think Berg has really been the most impressive, and he's getting a regular shift now.
Yeah. Speaking of other impressive players, let's pick out some highlights from this last week. We can talk about some of the players that have impressed you. So we were talking a little bit earlier about Riker Evans. He's actually sitting at, 3 goals, 18 assists, 21 points. He's got to be up there in the WHL defenseman scoring race here. No, he also has 26 penalty minutes, but now I'm looking at last year too. He had 81. So he's not a guy that doesn't get penalty minutes. He's kind of keeping on schedule there.
Yeah, he's second in the league. He's behind Cole Clayton and Medicine Hat, who came out super hot out of the gate.
Yeah,
he's cooled off a bit. He's 2 points behind, but Riker's played 3 more games.
And we did remember when that year, it was the 18-19 year, where he ended up being hurt. He broke his leg actually. He was really starting to impress us, and he's just really continued on with that. sort of offensive defenseman. You had a chance to talk to him and ask some questions about this year and how things have been going for him. So we'll roll into that.
Do you feel a little bit of pressure, trying to pick up some of that slack now that you've really advanced your offensive game this season?
No, it stays about the same. I just play my game. Obviously, I got to simplify some stuff with Dar's not being there, but no, I just keep things the same and just play my game.
What do you attribute a little increase in offensive output this season too?
Over this year break we had, I was able to find the confidence that I needed for the season, and obviously I found that, and I've been putting it into the games here.
Did a guy like Zach Whitting last year kind of help you out a bit?
100%. Yeah, he was one of my best buddies on the team, and we're always working on stuff after practice, and he was able to give me that kind of swagger and stuff that I was able to learn from him in this league.
Great. So, yeah, you referred to Zach Whitting. Of course, he was high up there in the points total last year, of course, and picked up some tips from him, obviously, and has carried on to success this year.
I should have kept going with that, and I thought of this after, of course. I always think of something after, but, him understudying Whitting last year, and it's kind of almost role reversal, I think, maybe this year with Feist. Like, I think he's kind of like the next guy in that line.
I think you're right, yeah. When Feist is playing well, he certainly shows glimpses of that, right? His offensive abilities. We did hear an interview with Feist a little while ago. I don't know if we played it on the show or not, but he was just saying he's being coached right now to play defensive, and then the offense will follow. So
yeah, and that's always the thing with the offensive guys. You got to work on the defensive kind of game, and then as a young kid coming in, you've got to change, right? You can't be that offensive guy in this next level, right? And then you kind of got to work on that defensive game because you will get exposed, and then so you kind of got to take that offensive game has to take a back seat, and then you got to complete your game. And then as you get older, you can play D and you can move into that offensive role as well.
Yeah. I'm sure he was used to being able to kind of skate around and have his way, and then coming to this is
have his way, right?
Step. Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
now you're playing guys 3-4 years older than you now. It's it's tough to do that.
Huge step.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guys, even so Tanner Howe, he's just had a couple games with us, but so far been impressive. A guy like Braxton Whitehead, I've been happy watching him. And again, it's as much as we can tell on the feeds, and it's a good feed, but it's still just TV. It's tough to really kind of pick out players and see their positioning and things like that. And I really do miss that in-person experience. Hey.
Armstrong, I thought he's had some kind of flashes here and there. He's had some chances. He's looked good for a young guy. Yeah. Like I said, Berg, I've really liked his game. I thought Keeper was really good in the PA game, and we didn't put this interview in, but we probably could have. But Schuss was really happy with Keeper, and I said, he hasn't played much, but he's really, when he's come in, he's really looked good, and he's like, absolutely. That's what we want from him, and he's been doing the right things to bring his game along. And I said, maybe he hasn't practiced much, or played much, but that practice is invaluable. And he's like, yes, that's going to be invaluable for next year. And he kind of was like, it's kind of hard for Welke because he hasn't got much time at all, but he's still getting that practice time. And for both these guys, this will be good for next year.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him. Actually, he's really been impressive, and I think a bit of a bright spot going into the future, because the goaltender situation was a little dicey there for a while. So it's nice to have some hope on that. Anything else Pats related you want to go over?
I don't know. I don't think. I think that's about it for this week. We knew it was going to be a tough week. We were hoping for a win. We didn't get it, but
Yeah, Kevin was. He promised to. He didn't come through with that, so we'll have to get
That's
him
why
back
we didn't bring
next
him on.
week. Yeah. Sorry, Kevin. You.
No, we're kidding.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was gonna be a tough week, but some other tough news coming out of the CHL of this last week is the Memorial Cup being officially canceled for 2 years in a row now. I mean, we all knew that was like almost 99.9% going to happen when you have the OHL that hasn't even started yet. And they just released today some news, just some more information that their discussions with the province of Ontario and how things are progressing there are kind of going sideways in the COVID front. And the province's reaction to that, it doesn't look good for them even to play a game.
No, I at this point I don't see them playing at all.
I mean, you're already halfway through April with no plan now. Like, what are you going to do? Start in May? Like, it's just it's a. I don't.
So I have heard, there's going to be maybe some camps, or I don't know where this is going to happen, but maybe for the draft eligible guys, there's going to be some.
That's what I'm thinking. You have to do something. Can you do like a mini tournament style something?
That's kind of what they were talking about, is a mini tournament camp thing, just for the draft eligibles, I think, or whatever. Something
for these kids to make a case for themselves.
Because the NHL teams, they want to see these kids, right? Yeah. They'll probably pony up some money and get this going. Yeah. I mean, it's not really a case of money at this point, right? I mean, it is, but it isn't either, right?
Did their province kick up any money for them? Like the
honestly,
Quebec
I don't
and
know.
Saskatchewan?
I'm not too sure.
I hadn't heard of anything, but so Memorial Cup off for another year. What's your prediction for next year?
For next year?
Yeah. You think it'll happen?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what to think these days, right? I have no idea. Like,
it's crazy.
You figure most people should be vaccinated. I mean, if you choose to, by the end of summer into the fall, right?
Yeah. I feel like we're getting there. We're getting there. We need to get. We don't need to get into politics here, but we'll get there. My feeling is yes. I think it'll be a later start next season, but it'll be.
Yeah, I think they've already talked about having a later start.
Yeah, have they?
Yeah, and I mean, maybe you just shorten the schedule, or maybe you tighten it up, or or whatever. Maybe push it back a month or so. But I think there's a good chance. I'm not super pessimistic about it happening this year.
No, I don't know if we really did expect it. It was kind of a long shot. But yeah, so the news came out again, officially canceled. OHL is not even playing. The Q's kind of doing their thing like they always do. They still have some sort of playoff thing in the works, or the hopes at least. And I mean, out of the WHL, Tri-City's now shut down as of I believe that was Friday or Saturday.
Right, yeah. Something like that.
It's just, really any game we get, I'm happy. I hope we got 2 weeks left here. I hope everyone stays safe and we get through this as a league. And because, it's not just it's not like you just get COVID and you're listening to these interviews out of Vancouver and the players like,
yeah, definitely.
It's not like you just get it and you're okay. Like, there's still, I don't know if you've ever had an influenza. It sucks, man. You're done for a long time. Even a simple cold, right? You can feel like crap for a couple of weeks. Yeah. And then to be expected to play high level hockey again, it's tough. And I mean, even the long term effects of this disease
we don't know yet, really, right?
Don't. Some, and I mean, they're all young, healthy kids. They should be okay if they did get exposed, but there's still the odd chance that they could have some lingering long-term effects, the respiratory and whatnot. And yeah, I hope these kids get through it safe these last couple of weeks. So far, so good for the Hubble, though. I'm impressed. They've done well. They've increased the restrictions a little bit. So unfortunately, you won't get any live experience anymore, but I guess that was a decision they made, and we'll just have to deal with that.
Yeah, that was a little unfortunate, but I was more than grateful to be able to get into the games that I was. But yeah, they
Yeah.
cut down on the number of people coming in. So, us kind of minor media kind of didn't make the cut. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, we're appreciative of the times you did get in, so that was awesome.
Yeah, like I didn't even think first of all, we were going to be playing. Second, anybody was going to get in.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's whatever. I'm not too sad about it. I'm sad, but I'm not sad about it. But
so speaking of the rest of the season, it's quick few games here. So Sunday, April 18th, they're playing PA. The Tuesday, April 20th, Saskatoon. Thursday, Swift Current. Friday, Moose Jaw, and then Sunday, Tuesday. So it's a bit of a grind here for the last
week and a half. That's it, really. Not even.
Yeah, about 10 days. So let's break it up. Let's talk about the first three. So PA, Saskatoon, Swift. What do you think?
So PA, if we have a better showing than last time against them, I think we could get a win there.
Yeah.
Saskatoon, they're going to be tough again. It's going to be real tough to get a win there. And then Swift Current, I think you gotta have a win there.
Yeah, after last week, I hope the guys. I mean, they played decent against some bad bounces, bad luck. Got in a hole, just don't have the offensive firepower to dig ourselves out of those holes. So if they can get the first goal and play with the lead and not have to dig out of holes, I think this week could look a little different.
That's one thing I tweeted out for the Saskatoon game. My game day stats: over half Saskatoon's goals, I think it was, that they'd scored against Regina were in the first period. Like we talked about weathering those storms. It seems like they're
that one
a little
game
slow out of the gate.
They had 4 against us in the first period. I remember that one against us.
Yeah.
Oh well. Like we said, compared to other leagues and other teams, we're happy to have some hockey to watch. And really right now just developing for next year. We talked about some bright spots. And, of course, Connor Bedard coming back next year. Unfortunately, it's going to be a long off season. We can see him again. When is that tournament kicking off, though, down in Texas?
Right at the end of the month. So it's like literally like as soon as the pad season is over, I think it starts. I don't know the date for sure. It's right at that end of the month. Maybe that weekend, the 24th, 25th, something like that. But
all right. Well,
other thing I want to say, maybe going in, we were talking about Ryker Evans. Can he be the leading scorer on this team?
No.
No, you're saying no?
No, he's 7 points behind Connor Bedard right now.
With six games to go?
No, not a chance.
Well, he's got a point a game. He's over a point a game.
Yeah.
So he has a 2-point game.
That's when Connor Bedard was here. It's a different team. No,
he's still rolling, but neither of us or any of us.
I'm a pretty positive person usually. I'm kind of the homer, and not a chance.
So a guy that plays 15 of the 24 games is going to lead this team in scoring.
Yeah, Kevin's going to be right on that.
Okay. I mean, none of us had Evans, and I don't think any of us even thought of having Evans as leading scorer, but he's going to be there. He'll be second. I don't know if Denomy's going to pass him. Like, Denomy's struggled without Connor.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. That is interesting, though. Hey, defenseman is your second leading scorer. Oh, wow.
I mean, Winning was right up there last year.
Anyways.
Well, not really. He only had 3 points in Brandon.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, he had 47 points total. 44 with Regina.
Yeah.
So, and he was behind Holmes at 48, behind Denomey at 50, and Pratt at 57. So he was right there.
Huh. No, I don't think he'll get there though.
Don't think he'll get first. All right.
I mean,
I think he will. That's okay. My hot take of the week. He'll be the leading scorer.
Okay, well, we'll see how he does over the next 3 games here, and we'll be back to talk to you guys about them. Good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.